Hello there. Be welcome again. I'm going to give you some more pieces of information. This time I'm going to pronounce some words in isolation, just for you to understand what natives do to solve some difficult problems that the language presents to them. Naturally, words come from various languages. Foreign words have to be adapted to the pronunciation of English, because it would be difficult for an American to pronounce déjà vu, déjà vu. So what do? They pronounce it déjà vu, right? So they adapt pronunciations there. Many words are Anglo-Saxon words, many are Latin words, many are Greek words. But independently of what they are, the language is going to adapt them to what we call General American English. So in General American English, this word that takes the stress on the first part, even, has one vowel which is E, and then it has a second vowel which is a schwa, even. So I've already mentioned the fact that schwas are going to be 75% of all vowels. We're going to teach you to pronounce all the 11 vowels of English plus the 3 diphthongs with clarity. But then we'll have to teach you how not to pronounce all the vowels with clarity. We're going to teach you how to obscure the vowels so that they become schwas. That's a tricky thing. And a lot of people make a lot of mistakes doing that. All right? So this is a very fundamental mistake. It's a very current one, and it creates foreignness in your speech. We want to eliminate that. Eliminate. Eliminate. Okay? So even is one of those. Evil. Well, here it's a word that presents two challenges. Obscuring the vowel, which is evil. It becomes evil. And then the L is terribly difficult for some Brazilians. They pronounce this as evil. Evil. Should not. Should be pronounced evil. So the tip of your tongue touches the tooth ridge. You'll learn exactly where the tooth ridge is. We're going to explain that with clarity too. But you know that to produce L or N, the tip of your tongue touches the tooth ridge. Now, if you say even, evil, tuna, some people might pronounce this tuna, but just said student, do, our transformation of U into oo, that's a simplification. You don't do that in all cases, but in the case of tuna, you can do it. Student, you can do it. Tuna, the second A becomes a schwa. Tuna, tuna. It's not tuna. Tuna, 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 because of the stress. Tuna. Serval. Well, if you have vul here, at times it's pronounced vile, has variations. This word is serval. The L is there. The L is very constant. Pay attention to the L's. Serval. This is a schwa, and vul is another schwa. 2 schwas in a word. Now, turnstile, the stress is here, turnstile. Now the thing to notice here is that tile, listen to tile, ta. There is an aspiration. Car, aspirated. Time, aspirated. Pie, aspirated. If it comes after an S, the S eliminates the aspiration. So it's a trick. Yes, it is a trick. Look, turnstile. Turnstile. Tile, style. Tile, style. You'll have to pay attention to those very little hues of pronunciation. That's what we're here to do. We're here to train you to notice what you call subtleties. Subtleties. Subtlety is pronounced, is spelled with a B, but you don't pronounce the B. You don't say subtleties. Right? You say subtleties. That's reduction. All right, that's a very common mistake too. Serval, turnstile, rattle. It could be pronounced reptile too. My pronunciation is reptile. Now this word asthma, it would be very difficult for me to pronounce asthma. Asthma. So the language decided that you're not going to pronounce the TH. Okay? It sounds asthma. But this is a schwa. Learn where the schwas are. If the stress is here, other vowels become schwas. Now this is a very interesting word because it is posthumous. Posthumous. Difficult to pronounce. How do I undo that? How do I make it easier, more comfortable? Posthumous. 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 And this O-U-S always becomes us. But the element about it is us. You see, when I finish us, there is an aspiration there. If I say bus, there's an aspiration there. You should listen very carefully to aspiration. It is very current. So posthumous. This is called palatalization. Pascha. You touch your palate, your hard palate, to produce it. Instead of saying pas-th, which is interdendal. So there's quite a transformation there. Posthumous. Now, this would be difficult to undo too. Sm, the sm. So what happened? You inserted a schwa here. Chasm. Chasm. Rain. You spelled the G, you don't pronounce it. Rain. It's the same as rain, the rain falling from the sky. Rain. Foreign. Here say rain, but here say foreign. Foreign. All right, that's quite a change too. Why? The stress is fall. Foreign. Foreign. Now this is a verb, to alter. To alter. To change. Alder. The L is the problem, remember? Alder. This is a D. It was transformed into a D. And then it became a schwa. Oh, listen. You don't know. This is not alter. It's not alter. It's not alter. Alter. It is alter. So when there's an A, you should always pay close attention to it. It may sound in many different ways. How'd you learn that? Well, look it up in the dictionary, hear the dictionary pronounce it, or listen to your models. Adopt the kind of A's that your models produce. So alder is the same as alder. Okay? In a church you have alders. Same pronunciation in spite of one being an A and another being an E. Alter, altar. Both become alder. And the T became a D. Why? Between two voice sounds. This is tricky. It requires practice. It requires listening. And listening actively, describing what you hear, and producing what you heard. Alder, alder. Now this word is tricky, and many people would have very much difficulty pronouncing it. Look. It's apparently a simple word, but many people might go over it as sentiment. Listen to the general American pronunciation. Sentiment. It's totally different from what is spelled. Right? It's spelled sentiment, but it sounds cinnamon. The final T doesn't sound. Why? Because of the N. The N eliminates stuff. In international, entertain, interesting. So sentiment is a problem for many people. So this entails mistakes. How many mistakes here? Maybe 2 mistakes or 3 mistakes. Not for you anymore. Sentiment. Now this past verb, this is an adjective, but it has the past participle form. It is money is the word. If it is moneyed, a person who has money, it is moneyed, not money yet. Money yet. Very common mistake. Pronouncing imperfectly the regular past forms of verbs. Moneyed. Now the other verb is to study. Study. The past of study is studied. Studied, not study it. I had many people pronouncing studied in front of me, right? So studied. Now this is a word that many people might go wrong about, because the word is really learned, which undoes the process here. It should have been pronounced learned. If it is the past of the verb learn, it is learned. I've learned quite a lot in a few minutes. I hope that's your case, that you've learned quite a lot in a short period of time. Now, what are you becoming? You're becoming a learned person. A learned person means a person with a lot of knowledge. All right, so learned. Now, advocate. Notice I said ad, pronounce the D, va, schwa, cut, schwa. So the only ad, I pronounce this not as a schwa because of the stress. Advocate, it's a noun. To advocate would be the verb. But I have ad here, but I have a ja here. So the ja does what to the da? Eliminates it. So instead of saying adjacent, because it's spelled there, I don't say adjacent. I say adjacent. Adjacent. Just a schwa here. Where's the stress? J. Adjacent. So stress goes together with obscuration. Adjacent. Not adjacent. Would it be wrong to say adjacent? You would think that somebody called adjacent something to you. It creates confusion in your mind. So adjacent. Now you have rushed. Okay, apply the rule. If it is a voiceless sound, you produce a T. If it is a voiced sound, you produce a D. So I've learned is D. I pushed is a T. So that's the rule. If the verb ends in T or in D, you keep D as a separate syllable. If it ends in any voice sound, you pronounce the D, but you don't pronounce the E. If it is an unvoiced sound, you're going to pronounce the T, not the E. So we're going to deal with that. We're going to give you many exercises to make it very, very automatic. So advocate, adjacent, rushed. Now this verb is from French, so it's pronounced camouflage. Camouflage. If it is je is voiced, camouflaged. Ingenuity. Well, this is a strange word, ingenuity. Some people don't know how to pronounce this. They pronounce ingenuity. Right? Ingenuity. So ingenuity. Torture, like literature, or maybe literature, or torture, literature, anything ending in overture will be palatalized. It could be torture. There is palatalization, it becomes torture. Now, few, if you say few, Q, maybe skewer, you will keep, after some letters, some sounds, you will keep the pronunciation U. But after N, you can transform it into new. So here, few, new. This is Sue. It could be pronounced Sue, right? Or this cannot pronounce Sue, it's so. So it's a tricky language, right? You say few, new, Sue, so. Adage, and aged. This is very tricky too. Stress here, adage. Proverb. Okay, aged. Alimony. Module. You see module, and you pronounce module. You see education, and you pronounce education. We're going to have many cases like this, so we'll have to continue for some time to solve all those problems at the same time. See you next time.